Welcome to another Fountain Pen Day review. Today's review is going to be of a vintage Waterman 52.5V lever filler. I acquired this pen a while ago after seeing a great review by Stephen Brown. And I found it really interesting and thought, if I could get a hold of one for a decent price that I didn't need to restore, because I don't know the first thing about restoring these, I would pick it up. So, this particular pen, from what I can tell in the research, these were made, most of them in the 30s. The ring top design obviously denotes this, which women, and generally women, I don't mean it in any other way, but the fact that they have smaller hands, and this is what this was made for, basically, but that they could wear this on a chain around their neck. Getting close, you can see on the back where it says focus 52.5V right there. Just trying to get it in the light. They were made of hard rubber. You can see here the inscription for Waterman's and the patent, actually patent registered, made in USA. And there was one other marking, and right here where it says Waterman's Ideal, which is the logo in the middle, and make sure I have it right side up and I can get the light off of it. You can see it also says Ideal on the lever bar itself right there. Okay, since these is an older pen and vintage, you'll see where there's a color change. Because underneath the cap, the section that's been covered by the cap is, a nice shiny black still, and you can see the line right here where the cap exactly ended. So it has faded over time, and that happens. It certainly does not detract from the functionality or anything like that of the pen. This one, I had the nib worked on by Danny Fudge. He did a nice job. It's a little scratchy, but it is a fine nib. Sorry, I'm having focus issues today. But it is a wonderful 14 karat gold nib. 52 denotes the size of this pen. The 2, I think, is denoting the size of the nib. It is a size 2 nib, so it's smaller. But again, it's beautiful 14 karat gold, so it always, even when they're old and they're covered in crud sometimes, you know you can clean them up well. It's a lever filler, meaning that when you pull on this right here, it pulls away, depresses a sac that's inside. This would be depressing it at this point. Drop it in the ink, push down, that pulls the pressure off. I'll show you in more detail in a moment. And the sac then sucks up the ink. The sac was just replaced when I got it. There should be talc powder on this. I'll have to put more on it. It actually rubbed off when I was taking this apart to just give it a quick cleaning for the video. But very simple design, the way that it's done, the way the sac attaches. So they are easy to repair, or at least change the sac. The sac slides on. Once you clean it, the shellac is put on here. It dries, and you have a nice airtight seal. And again, that bar that's in there, it will come down, squeeze against this, and then when you flip it back up, it releases and takes the ink in, and that's it. It's very simple. This also has a flat feed. You can see it doesn't have what we commonly see in the fins nowadays. Very smooth finish. Inside, which is interesting, because I can show you the inside of this pretty well. Down the barrel, you'll see a small sorry, you will see where that lever actually is inside. See up there in that top part? It's right up in here. Now what happens when you do this lever, for those who are interested, when you start to pull it away, I'll just get it started and I'll show you. You can see inside. There you go. When this is pulled out, it pushes down on that lever, puts the pressure again on the sack. When you flip it back up, it pulls it up and draws up the ink. This one was not shellacked back in. A lot of times with these, people will just so that it's secure. I mean, it is secure, but I guess they're afraid people will just pull them apart and have ink everywhere. But without it being shellacked down, it's fine. It's not going anywhere. You can see the pen looks ridiculously small in my hand, but you would write with this posted, and it posts, and it gives it a fairly a good length without a doubt. It's just a tiny section to write with. But again, that wasn't the point. The point was just to say that the light fell. The point was just to show you how the section can be removed. If you did want to, you can lightly shellac it and it will stay in there, hot water or whatever, and you can break that seal again so that you can change the sack if you need to. Alright, very nice gold band around here, accents, you know, your lever as well as the ring top. Interesting old pen. I'm going to do a quick writing sample, weigh it out, and that's about all there is. Okay, let's weigh the pen out real quick. And again, when I weigh all of the pens, it is going to be in grams and uninked. And the pen will weigh very light, 9.6 grams. Even though you can use a postage, just so you know, the cap 3.6, so that'll leave this at, wow, just 6 grams. Very light pen. Very light. Yeah. Okay. So, I figure we'll ink this very black pen up with something bright. Dragon's Napalm. Figure it'll give it some good contrast. So, to ink this pen, being a lever filler, however you want to do it, you'll simply pull this bar back. Focus, okay. Back so that it's out straight. Don't pull it forward more than that. It should be at a 90-degree angle. Simply nib and section in. Let it lay flat. With all the sack fillers, I always let them sit for a second, so because it takes a moment for it to draw the ink up, you know, for the sack to fully expand again. And that should do it. And quickly, what do? Cap the ink. I don't want it to fall like the lamp did. Okay. Sorry, I'm just wiping off the pen. We'll write today on Clairefontaine dot pad. I'm sorry, Rhodia dot pad. And I'm going to shake the camera a little bit and bring you down close and let you see how it looks. Again, this one I'll use posted because otherwise it's just incredibly tiny. This is, I would say, a fine nib. It does have some feedback. It's a little, I find it a little scratchy, but that may be because I use a little more pressure than you really need to on a pen sometimes. But it does write really nice. Nice line. It has no, I haven't had any skipping issues with this at all. Remembering this is, you know, a vintage pen, vintage nib. vintage flex, without a doubt. And it will ask. I mean, it will. I've found that if I can grab the paper with this at times, but like on that downstroke, if I don't have the nib just right, it will grab. I don't know if the nib tipping on this has worn out a little bit over the years. When Danny Fudge looked at this and worked on it, he didn't say anything about the nib tipping at all. So, but there is very little. I mean, there is some, but it's very little. But in any case, the flex is certainly there. And when I hold it right, it certainly writes smoothly. And like I said, it's got a vintage flex, so it's very easy to get this to flex. And the feed, not having any fins and just being straight flat, has no problem keeping up. Very nice. But again, I am being careful as I write, not to do anything that's going to force it to, to grab the paper. Oh, railroad. Of course, right when I said that is when it would railroad. So all in all, very nice pen. One thing I meant to say before, the breather hole in it's kind of nice. It's got a heart cut out. If it'll focus, there we go. It actually has a heart cut out for a breather hole, which I believe is something that they have continued on doing through the years. Boy, that you can really see the the ink on that. So that's about it. Just wanted to show you guys some vintage flex, and I want to thank everybody for watching and remind you that Fountain Pen Day is November 1st this year. Always the first Friday in November. See, took just a little bit of time, didn't get any railroad. And it's got a nice wet line, but not too wet. Have a great day.